Modern houses don't feel cold because they are modern. They feel cold because they are badly designed. Most people, when they think of modern houses, they think of the white, sterile box that looks lifeless, and somehow that's the reputation that kind of got tied to modern design. So in this video, we're gonna have three parts. We're gonna have the first part that we're gonna discuss how we got to modern design and how it became what it became. Number two, we're gonna discuss why the brain perceives the modern design as something cold. And number three, how we can solve that and how we can make modern design actually feel warm in the long run. So if you're interested, then please keep on watching. So let's start with part one, how modern architecture got here. And I see a lot of people in comment section saying like, how did we get here? How did we get from this to this? Like, what happened to architecture? What are they teaching these kids in architecture schools and everything? Well, let's go back to 1908. So there's this architect called Adolf Loos, and he wrote this essay in 1908 that was called Ornament and Crime. So in his essay, he debated that ornaments is actually a crime in architecture because it's a waste of material, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of labor, and it doesn't really add much to the building. It doesn't have a role in the architecture of the building. So his point was not really to completely eradicate ornaments in general. He was just talking about it from a functional standpoint. And then something happened in Europe. Europe broke into very devastating wars, World War I and World War II, and then entire cities were completely eradicated and completely just overnight they disappeared. So there was this sense of urgency to rebuild these cities, to rebuild these buildings as quickly, as cheaply, as efficiently as possible. And of course, when you have continent that is recovering from two devastating wars, ornaments and decorations and everything is the last thing they're thinking about. They don't have a lot of manpower, they don't have a lot of craftsmen that can actually go and build these houses and build these buildings that take years sometimes. They don't have a lot of resources, a lot of materials, so they just start going, okay, we're just gonna build all these white boxes and just call it a day. So at that point, it was no longer a philosophical theory that an architect wrote in 1908, and it became more something that's what we kind of need and we have to move fast. So we got to do what we got to do. So now fast forward, we are in 2026. We don't have that sense of urgency. We can afford to build a certain way. We can afford to take some time to design something that's nice, that has character. So people now are thinking that, okay, we don't want that. Modern is bad. Modern is cold. Modern is cheap. Modern is... And again, that was a solution that we needed at that time. But right now, I don't think what people are describing as modern is what truly is modern. Because what we mostly see right now is more of like a minimalism gone wrong. Because I truly believe that architecture, all styles are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. If it's well designed, it will be beautiful. If you follow design principle, it will be beautiful. So now we're going to discuss part two. So let's talk about why modern houses feel cold and how does your brain perceives that? Like, what's the psychology behind it? So when the brain is looking at a building, it's looking at a pattern. Every building is going to send all these signals to your brain, and your brain is going to start to analyze it. So you get all these visual signals from the building, and then you look at it, and then your brain is going to start noticing all these missing pieces, and all of a sudden it's going to label it as cold. So now your brain doesn't know what modern is. Your brain doesn't know what traditional is. It just looks for clues. If it doesn't have those clues, it's going to label it as bad. So for example, if you look at a modern house, you're going to look at this large blank wall, and of course a large blank wall and it's flat is not going to create any shadow. So your brain is going to be like, oh, that's lifeless because there's no shadow, there's no depth. And again, if there's a limited palette and then there's only smooth stucco with smooth concrete, with smooth metal, there's no contrast, there's no richness, there's no texture, then your brain, there you go, you didn't have that, it couldn't find that clue, so it's gonna again label it as wrong. You have all this kind of like a checklist that your brain is gonna be like 0 or 1, 0, 0 or 1, 0, 0 or 1, 0, and then you get a total and then it's all zeros, and then you're like, okay, that's cold. Again, you get like all these giant glass panels and with no interruptions, with no wood slats, no nothing. Of course your brain is gonna be like, that feels cold, it looks like an office building, I don't want to live there. So your brain is always judging, like no matter how you people are like, no, I don't judge. Your brain is judging before you even realize it judged. So now what happens when you have all these signals that your brain is now finding the answers to is there is a lack of things. And again, I'm going to cover this in the next part, but there are all these design decisions that are missing from the facade, because we're talking here about the facade case. It's all these things that once we add them to the facade, not necessarily ornaments, it's just certain things that we can add to the facade that will help your brain get all those clues. The good news is modern architecture is solved from the perspective of cold. It can be solved. Like I said, it was just a bad design that was lacking certain things, and now we're going to cover how to fix it. So in part 3, so how do we make modern architecture feel warm? So like I said earlier, everybody gets this backwards. They think that warmth comes from ornaments, it comes from details. But in a sense, it could be true, but let me explain. So when people say traditional house is warmer, I bet I would sit with somebody and be like, what do you mean? Like, explain it to me. And they wouldn't be able to explain it, but I'm going to explain it to you. So when they think a warm traditional house is warmer than a modern house, we can take the example of trims, window trims. So sometimes, or window frames around. So sometimes you get these traditional houses that have these windows that have a trim around, or that has a frame around it. I'm going to try to insert some pictures here. And they're like, well, that's an ornament. That is what I need in the modern house for it to be warm. So now we are trying to force a modern house with traditional stuff into it. And like I said in one of my previous videos, you should never mix two styles of architecture. Each one has a language. But let's go even deeper. So instead of being very narrow-minded and be like, okay, trims, we need to put trims here. No, let's say, what do the trims do to the traditional house that we can copy to the architectural house as a design principle? Again, we are at a very, very deep level of design here. We're not looking at what causes something, but what is the reason why we need a certain thing into the modern house. So if the trim is something that's sticking out of your window and it's creating that shadow, that's what your brain is looking for. Your brain is not looking for trims. Your brain doesn't know what trims are. Your brain is looking for shadow, is looking for depth, is looking again for contrast. It doesn't, you can give your brain the shadow, the contrast, any way or shape or form. It doesn't care. As long as it's there, then it's going to label your facade as something that looks good and it's not cold. So let's go step by step here. So the first principle I want to talk about is hierarchy. So hierarchy is something that modern houses sometimes could lack, but traditional houses don't miss it. Every time you look at a traditional house, there is a symmetry. There is an entrance, you know exactly where to look, you know what's the focal point, it's the porch, it's right there, it's very easy to spot. But when you get a modern house, your brain is lost. It's like, what am I looking at? There is no focal point, there's no hierarchy. Is everything important here? And when everything is important, nothing is important, it falls flat. Your brain calls it cold, okay? So number one, we have to have a hierarchy in any modern house. Okay, now let's go to depth. Depth is, flat walls create no shadow at all. And without shadow, the facade loses its richness. So even just a few inches of recessed windows, even just a few frames, or just anything that will show to the eye that there's a foreground, there's a background, there's a middle ground, then the eye is gonna perceive it as a signal that, okay, there is these layers and I am okay with that. So that really, brain is drawn to the light and the shadow, and because that makes the building feels more alive. It makes it feel more three-dimensional instead of just a flat 2D plane. Number 3 is contrast. So contrast is something that traditional homes tend to have because they have multiple materials. There is enough, warmth versus cold. There's enough rough versus smooth. And I talk about this all the time in my material videos. I always say this. It's not so much about the material you're gonna pick. It's more about, do you have that visual tension between your materials? Do you have that contrast between your materials? You can pick all the best materials in the world. If they're all smooth, it's not gonna work. If they're all rough, it's not gonna work. If they're all warm, it's not gonna work. If they're all cold, it's not gonna work. You always have to have cold, warm, soft next to something rough. You have to have something that's I don't know, small something big. You need to have some contrast. I don't really care exactly what it is, but just as long as you can point out something that's contrary to what it's next to it, then you have that contrast. Okay, number 4 is rhythm. So the brain loves to look for repetition. It's usually like the same window spacing, usually columns, and that's something that traditional homes do very well. They always have a rhythm. You can really understand it, and it's very easy to the eye. Whereas modern houses can sometimes have very strong composition, but not necessarily a rhythm to it. And there are different things to accomplish the rhythm without having to make the whole massing and the whole house look like symmetrical, or like I always say, like a Versailles, where everything is like mirrored on both sides. But you can use it by having some like wood slats. You can use it by having some repetitive columns, or like some thin windows next to something of a wide window. There are different ways to make the eye kind of follow along in the facade. So that's all the eye is looking for. Then you get scale. Sometimes modern houses can tend to be a little bit too out of scale because they are just these massive planes, these massive masses that are very strong, like I said, and they're very bold. And people, when they stand next to them, they feel kind of out of scale. But that's not something you necessarily experience with traditional homes, because they're always like so nice and cozy and just the perfect scale and everything. Again, this is something that could be solved. Like, something that's out of scale is not necessarily modern. Something out of scale is bad design. Okay, I'm trying to defend modern architecture here because it's just not fair. Okay, I am a Libra. I don't believe in horoscopes, but I believe in fairness. I don't think that an architectural style could get such a bad reputation without architects saying anything and just have it, just like let it slide. Okay, that's what people believe. Okay, sure. No, it's not what it is. Every single architectural style is beautiful for its own reason, and I don't think it's fair to modern architecture to be cold, that's what I meant. I didn't mean cold, to be cold, because it's not what it is. It's not the case. And Bauhaus and all these German architects did a lot. Actually, one of the famous quote, "Less is more" by Mies van der Rohe, it started as, again, less is more with like as in less ornaments, but if you're just gonna start removing things and having this house that lacks character, lacks richness, and violates every single design principle from A to Z, then you can't be arguing here with me as is less is more. No, that's like less is ugly. You know what I mean? So if you manage to really understand and can apply these on principles, then you can make every style look warm. It's not necessarily a style, but it's more about good design. Okay, so I think I have 2 more principles. I have framing here. Again, the framing it helps the previous point of having hierarchy, because it's really easy to spot what needs to be framed. And also, when you add a frame, most of the time frames have depth, and that creates shadow, so it's kind of a win-win for you. And then last but not least is harmony. Harmony is what traditional homes do best. You look at it and everything feels like it just belongs. But with modern architecture, people have been trying to, like I said earlier, try to get a little bit bold. They try to do a lot of things that are violating design principles, but you can make a modern house harmonious. And again, I've done it in multiple houses that I've did over the years, and you can see my channel. I have a lot of modern houses that are very warm, actually. It's not, like I said, modern architecture is not measured by temperature. To recap, we are not here trying to make something look like something else. Everything has its language. Every architectural style has its elements, and we're not trying to cover a modern house in ornaments to make it look like a French chateau. We are not trying to add any fake columns. We're not trying to make anything look like a Greek temple. No, we're just trying to design modern houses better by following design principles. That's all I'm asking of people, and I'm here to debunk the myth of coldness being labeled as a style. That was never the intention of our architects back in the day. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in today's video. If you are interested in working with me and trying to take your house from being cold to being warm, feel free to fill out this form here. If you're interested in just getting an assessment of where your facade is, feel free to click this link right here, and I'm gonna leave it also in the description down below if you want to have a facade assessment and understand what's really missing in your facade. And last but not least, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.